Let's talk about variables. Firstly, I'm 100% sure that you heard about this term before, but let's assume you're not. So what the hell are variables? Imagine a box where you can put in things. The things will stay there until you take them out, right? So that's basically what a variable does. It's a place in your code where you can store important information or relevant data to be able to use this data as many times as you want inside of your code without the necessity to write this data down again and again and again every time you need it. So that's basically what a variable does. And trust me, variables are one of the most important things in programming languages. But before we start, let's clear some important concepts. When it comes to name variables, functions, classes, whatever in programming, we have a lot of different types to do this. But the most common ones are snake case, camel case, and Pascal case. Hey, but what are these things? Snake case is basically when you separe each word by entering an underscore, and all words are written in lowercase letters. Camel case is when you write the first word completely in lowercase, and starting from the second word, the first letter of each word is written in uppercase letter. And Pascal case is exactly the same as camel case. The only difference is that in Pascal case, every first letter of each word is written with a capitalized letter. So these are the three ways, or the three most common ways, to write down the name of a variable or the name of a function or the name of a class in Python. But for variables, we use specifically snake case. So you will get that as soon as we start writing code. Let's get into it. Here we are at VS Code where we left it last time, but now I have created a variables file where we are going to work with variables. How do I write down a variable, or how do I create a variable in Python? It's actually pretty easy. Variables need to be declared, and then they need to be defined. To declare a variable, just think of a name that you want to give it. For example, if you want the variable to store your name, then just call it my name. Just like that. You declared the variable. Well, not completely. To declare the variable, you need to set the equal, because you want this variable to be equal to whatever comes next. So now we can define the variable because we already declared the variable. Now we need to define it. To define it, we can use any of these data types that we learned last lesson. We can set the variable equal to a string. We can set the variable equal to a number. We can set the variable equal to a boolean. We can set the variable even equal to a list, but we are going to talk about list and complex data types in next lesson. So let's start with the basics. Let's set this variable equal to my name or your name, whatever. So my name contains many characters, so it's a concatenation of characters, also named string. So let's put in here a string with my name, or in your case, it's your name. We now declared a variable and then we defined it to store this value. Now this variable called my name contains the value of Juansi. Let's print that out into the console just like that and execute the code. There you go. You just got your name into the console. What we can do now is redefine or override this variable. We can say my name is no more equal to Juansi. Now it's equal to Pepe. If we now execute this, we get Pepe. So that's basically how variables work. We can now say, for example, number is equal to 40. If we now print out the number and execute this, we get 40. We just declared variables and defined them, assigning values to them. We can now say, for example, boolean is equal to true. Now let's try echoing boolean, the variable boolean, execute this, and we will get true. If we say here, no, it's now false, try to execute this again, we get false. It's as simple as that. We just created variables, we redefined them, we assigned values to variables, and we printed them out into the console. So let's see another example. Let's create a basic calculator. Let's define number 1 is equal to 10. Number 2 is equal to 20. Result is equal to number 1 plus number 2. What we are doing here is adding number 1 to number 2. So we need to print the result, and if we execute this, we will get 30, because 10 plus 20 is 30, right? If I now say here 15, we will get 35, just like that. Okay, so that's how variables work. Let's try one last thing. Let's say number is equal to 10. But now I want to add 1, so the result would be 11, to this number. So how do I do this? I'm going to show you the two most effective ways. The first one is to say number is equal to number plus 1. Print number, we will get 11. There is an easier way to do this. We can delete all these things and say number is plus equal to 1. This means that number is equal to 10, but now number is equal to the value that it already has plus the value that comes after the equal. Let's execute this. This will also get us 11. I also can do minus 1 and that will get us 9. There you go. Can see it works. We basically saw how variables work and they are pretty easy to understand and also pretty easy to work with. So I hope you learned with this lesson and I hope to see you in the next one.